Hey, how's it going everyone? This is DCSG81 and today we are going to do the final review for the Black Panther Wakanda Forever wave, which is the Build-A-Figure Attuma. So as you can see, I have not built him out yet. So let's get started. Okay, so this is Attuma, the Build-A-Figure. Wow, I must say is that I'm pretty impressed with the details of this guy. You can see he's full of armor and also is sculpted very nice, especially area of these small details on the armor is very nicely done. And you can see even some, I think this is some skeleton or some don't know what decoration do you call that. It's soft rubber. And then wow, everything else, even the boots area is full of armory. Let's take a look at his head, and this is pretty amazing as well, very nicely. And we have the chicken hair here. And the one thing that really impressed me is, if you can take a closer look, he does have some sort of like a mask which is transparent here. This is rather nicely done. And let's take a look at his back. Wow, this is really amazing. Even though I don't know much about this character, but he does looks amazing, especially for the details. Okay, so let's move on to the articulation. I will start off with the head. So he does seems to have some hindering because he have a long hair behind. So let's see how well he can turn to the right. Yep, there's some restrictions here, but he can still turn pretty well. Turn to the left, same thing. Now, looking up is not going to happen because of the hair, but looking down is pretty good. His hand can turn 360 degrees, moving upwards. Oh, okay. Also because of this armor here, so I think the best you can do is something like this. It's an arm swivels, a double joint elbow, and swivel his hand going up and down. 2 points of articulations. You can turn on his waist, but it's very tight. The torso can move as well. So this Attuma can bend forward. Not much, unfortunately. Bending backwards, yeah, the same thing. He does have a tight swivels. Kicking forward, yeah, not too bad. Kicking backward, yeah, just slightly. Double joint knee. There's no swivels on the boots area, but you can swivel on his foot, going side to side, up and down. Let's see how well he can do a split. Okay, not too bad actually. Okay, so for the articulation, it's pretty decent, not the best in the world. I think it's still alright. And right up next, we will move on to the accessory. And as we know, this Attuma doesn't come with any interchangeable hand except for these two weapons here, which is pretty good looking, I must say. Yeah, it's rather limited, but I think it's pretty good already for these two weapons. And this is how he looks like with the weapons. Wow, this is pretty good. Okay, so next let's talk about the fun factor for this guy. I must say is that I don't know much about him, and I don't know what's his role in the movie. Maybe he's the biggest villains in the movie, I'm not sure. So to me, at this point of time, not very high on the fun factor for me. Do click on the likes button if you enjoy this review. So for the size comparison, I will start off by comparing those that are with him in the same wave. So I have Namor over here, which is kind of short as compared to him, as well as Okoye. Next we have Everett Ross and Nakia. And lastly, we have the comic versions of the Black Panther, as well as Hatut Sarase. And next, still on Marvel Legends, I have this Black Panther from the MCU, as well as this SH Figuarts Black Panther. So let's compare with more SH Figuarts. I have the Captain America from the Endgame, as well as Star-Lord. And next we'll move on to some Mayfax. I have the Spider-Man right over here from the Homecoming. Yeah, very tiny as compared to him, as well as this Mark 85 from Mayfax as well. And lastly, let's compare with some other brands. I have Mesco Thor Ragnarok. Yep, I think they looks pretty good. And also this Nota Studio Steve Rogers. Now as you can see from the skill, I was hoping that this guy, if he's really the biggest villains in Wakanda Forever, I was hoping that he could be at least a little bit taller, so he will look like even more intimidating to the other characters. But so far I think he is pretty much of the standard size of a Marvel legend. So kind of disappointed though, because as a BAF build a figure, I always thought that they should be slightly bigger maybe. Okay, so my final rating for this guy based on all the star ratings so far is going to be a 7 out of 10. Yes, aesthetically I think he looks beautiful with all the details on the armor, and everything else looks fine, but it was kind of disappointing on the accessory as well as skill, at least for me. It could be because that I don't know what's the deal about this guy in the movie yet, so maybe after I watch the Wakanda Forever I might be a little bit more interested into this guy. So yes, I gotta be very honest with you guys, because I dare not to recommend this Attuma to you guys, as I know this is a build-a-figure, so he got to be rather expensive to buy the whole wave just for him. So I would say is that put a hold on this guy first until we watch the Wakanda movie, which is about to come out in a week time. But right now I think this guy is not that worthwhile for you to buy the entire wave just to build him up. So I do hope that you enjoy my review, and I certainly hope that you make a good decision out of this review, and I'll catch you again in my next video. I hope you'll watch this movie right over here.